What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Mike. I am a full-time used book reseller, so I go around the thrift stores. I do bulk buys off Craigslist. I recently did post a next store, basically wanted free books ad, even though there's really not much around me on that app. And that's how I make a full-time income. I send my stuff into Amazon, or I list the other 1% on eBay and I sell it there, but I get paid every 2 weeks, and you know, that's what I do. So today's video is going to be another one, basically one of my vlog opinionated videos, and we are going to do it from the bookmobile today. So the topic today is going to be basically pivoting. So at some point in everybody's business, you're going to have to pivot to basically stay in business. And that's going to be the topic, so let's get right on into it. So every business at some point is going to have to pivot one way or another to stay in business. And if you don't basically keep up with the times, keep up with the trends, then you're going to get left behind and your business is going to wind up failing. You see how many large retailers that used to exist, and even, you know, smaller businesses in your local communities that have shut down, because as times change, your business needs to change with the times. So on this past yesterday, my birthday, Sunday, we had our weekly YouTube member Zoom call, and we kind of hit on it a little bit. We more or less were talking about what's the next step and how can you basically be ready to change your business at the drop of a dime when something happens. So the most obvious one for this when it comes to selling books on Amazon is restock limits. So last year, fourth quarter, they hit everybody with 1,000 restock limit. So basically large booksellers that had 3,000 books sitting in Amazon that weren't selling, long tail items or just junk that wouldn't sell, basically couldn't send anything in until they got back down to that limit. So what happens is you have to pivot. You got to pivot your business. And what most of them did was basically go from FBA to merchant fulfilled. So now that's one thing you could possibly do, for example, and that's at a larger scale. But at a smaller scale, say for example, you know, you have 5 thrift stores in your area. Unfortunately, if that's your only source, and that's your only, you know, that's the only way you're getting books, even though it might be good today, it might be good for the next year, the next 2 years, what happens if they decide to raise the prices of their books and media? What happens if they just decide, listen, the business is done, we're closing up shop? That's why it's important. You have to have a plan in place, or at least be working towards a goal of what's the next step. If this goes wrong, how else can I continue this business and continue to make the money, and sometimes even more money? So for me, I'll give you a personal example that kind of where I'm at. So I do cherry picking and I do like these bulk buys. You see my car is full. I got all this free from the Friends of the Library, which I got from that I pay for books, my Craigslist ad. So the library reached out to me, and once a month I'm gonna go get however many books they have for free. So bulk isn't necessarily what I want to do, but if it came to it, I had to be willing to pivot to go to bulk books, or pivot to hire somebody to go scout books for me. Because as a single person operation, which most of us are, I'd say 95% of us are, you're not going to be able to just hire somebody. In today's market, you know, people don't want to work, and if they do, they want to make $25 an hour. And we can't afford to pay that. So we have to figure out a way to basically streamline our business so it's just one of us and we can make as much money as we can. And God forbid restock limits hit again, what are we going to do? If that happens, well, we already have profitable inventory in there that we know is going to sell. So if that happened today and my restock limit went back down to 1,000, and I'm right around 2,000 items in there right now, I would just start doing merchant fulfilled. So I have the trigger set in place. I have everything ready to go if it ever came to that. So if it happens, oh well, I'm already prepared for it. It's the people that aren't prepared, or the people that are just going to sit there and cry about it and not make any change, that are going to fail. So I just want everybody to kind of think about, you know, where you're at in your business, and when you scale it to a certain point and maybe something happens, or you know, you're maxed out on your time and your energy, how can you continue to grow your business? You know, there has to be a next level. Look at it in levels. Set goals for yourself. When you hit a certain goal, what's the next goal? You know, where do you want your business to be? And we all even said it on the Zoom call. that expanding into CDs and DVDs, even though I'm the used book guy and books will always be my primary thing, it opens a whole new ball game for you. So if you're not already ungated in CDs and DVDs, I strongly recommend it before Amazon shuts down the cheap way of Christian book, because it creates so much more opportunity. And just think about, like, in some of my past videos, you know, we find $50 in profit in books, and we're finding hundreds of dollars in profits in CDs and DVDs, which before I never even would have touched, I never even would have scanned. So it's things like that. They add up. Think ahead, be ahead of the curve. So when something happens, let everybody else go under, and you'll just float along perfectly fine. Keep making the money you want to make, and maybe even grow to what you want to grow. That's kind of where I'm at. It's not so much pivoting because of restraints set on me. It's how can I expand my business? I would love to hire a scouter and just go that route, but nobody's going to want to do it, especially around here where, you know, companies are paying a lot. I have a lot of warehouses that are going to pay $25. I can't pay that. I can't pay nowhere near that. So you got to figure out what works best. Definitely, even if you're doing this part-time, I would 100% have at least a free book pickup ad. I mean, if you're doing part-time and you get a car full of books, this could last you 2 or 3 weeks to go through. And, you know, that's kind of why I always say eBay has to exist, even if it's in a small percentage. You just have to have it there. What happens if you log on to Amazon one day and you're suspended, for 3 weeks? If that happened to me, I'm just going to go full-blown into eBay and keep listing and keep selling. So it's like, you gotta be open to different avenues. You don't have to commit to them. I'm not saying spend a lot of time and energy on these other avenues, but just have them in your back pocket. So just in case something happens, you can keep rolling. You can just keep moving your business along. So kind of wanted to talk about this today. We had a great conversation about it on the weekly Zoom call. Everybody's got great ideas. Everybody's doing different stuff. Everybody wants to be in different points of their businesses. So hopefully this video helps one of you out. I appreciate you all watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more used book videos. Bye-bye.